Because you're a killer. You know, you are a man of action. You do not sit on couches, you take scores. You're back, man. We are back.
No, it's not it. I got money. It just makes you miserable. I want to make movies.
Great. It's great. And, so where exactly does this leave me in the second act of your life?
We're gonna do this last big job, and then we're gonna dissolve the partnership.
This is not a game to me! Alright, this is a fucking way of life!
I got a fucking family!
Yeah, well, I got nothing! No one gives a fuck about me!
Outside of Trevor being a maniac in human form, a person that goes out of his way to put his anger out on others, make people fear him, and seem like he's just heartless, Trevor is human. And in some sort of way, Trevor is kind of relatable to most men in the world. Like I said, outside of the crazy stuff he do, we have to understand that Trevor is also just a person who is just trying to find himself. He's trying to find who he is. Because in the story, you have to realize that when he was with Michael, all he ever did was rob banks, steal, kill. And with doing that, he found a brother, quote unquote, and he found somebody that he lived his whole life with, which made him find his purpose, which made him feel belong, which made him feel like he actually got someone that cares about him. And when you analyze it, you realize that most men are just like Trevor, just trying to find a way to fulfill themselves, trying to find a way to understand who they really are. Because most men can't really be comfortable by themselves. Most men go out to parties, most men try to have fornication, most men find different types of ways, different types of habits to not think about who they are individually. And ultimately, when you're by yourself as a man, you don't really have nobody to tell you that it'll be okay. There'll be somebody in your ear, you know, giving you shoulder rubs or, you know, just showing you love in general. You know, society deprives men of expressing themselves. Society deprives men of being comfortable with showing their true colors. And when it comes to Trevor, Trevor is that type of person where he don't really see the point in doing that. You know, back then, we don't really know what Trevor was specifically. Specifically, I don't, but I know in the story that we have played, Trevor doesn't really show his soft side because he realizes that people who show their soft side often get misjudged as being too soft or being too, you know, people that can just walk over you. And Trevor doesn't really want that to be applied to him. So he goes out his way to do maniac things like blow up Merryweather ships, talks to his, you know, corporates like they're just animals and threatens them, and basically wants people to love him out of fear and not love him out of who he is, because he never really had that experience of being loved of who he is as a person. In the story, if you do play the whole story and you get some side missions with Trevor, you come across a side mission where his mother comes back into the trailer and finally shows up after a couple of years of not being there for him. And she talks about how him as a kid and why you never call or do this and that and the third. And Trevor breaks down because he realizes that, you know, he's still human. Like, he still wants to be nurtured. He wants to be loved. He wants to be held.
What are you doing here?
Is that how you greet your mother, Trevor?
I didn't know they let you out.
So you never wrote to me?
And most men in today's world, you know, all we have is our parents, whether that is our mother or father, you know, or you grew up with your uncle, or your uncle is a father figure. We really only have those type of, you know, adult figures in our life when it comes to being by ourselves. We don't really have, you know, people who really care about us. And it sucks that that's the way it is due to influences and people, you know, people of notoriety, I apologize, that are telling them that, hey, you shouldn't be worried about no man. If he broke, just leave him. If he ain't doing this and that, just go to the next man. What one man won't, another man will. And, you know, it really sucks. Trevor in the story is just one of us, realistically. Like I said, outside of him doing crazy stuff, he's just trying to find his purpose. He's just trying to reach his goal. He's trying to do something that is outside of just being stuck and living in the past. Obviously, Trevor is kind of living in the past because he keeps mentioning Brad and talking about how when we get the gang back together, you know, Franklin makes us multicultural and things of that nature. He lives in the past a little bit, but you really can't live like that forever, which is why he makes Trevor Phillips Industries, why he does what he do and try to build his brand. And even in GTA Online, you know that he's, you know, selling drugs and all that type of stuff. He's doing what he needs to do so he don't have to think about stuff like that. He tries to move on. But when you really don't have nothing to help you move on, and when you've lost everything, you know, when you lost everything, in his eyes, what do he seem to gain? Like, what can he gain after everything is just gone? So we just have to understand that as men, as people, as humans, as God's creation, as people who should be loved equally and not mistreated due to our status or how we are perceived out to the real world, we shouldn't just be so judgmental, and we should realize that, you know, every man has a backstory. Every man has something that they've been through that they don't really feel comfortable talking about, or they would love to talk about. It's just nobody really cares to hear. So in my eyes, I believe Trevor is one of those characters in the game where, yeah, he does the funny stuff. Yeah, he, you know, when you spawn with Trevor, he's butt naked on a bridge or something. He eating out of a trash can. He, you know, he's on a scooter, on a high-speed chase on the scooter. Outside of all that, he's really just a human. He's really another one of us when it comes to his mental health. So that's all I got for today. Hopefully everybody taking care of themselves. Y'all staying up, y'all staying motivated, y'all staying positive, y'all staying blessed. And stay disciplined. Stay yourself, man. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.